all our friends, and they can have my things when we're dead. But we gonna live forever. We gonna live forever.
Okay, we are here at the Boyscast, and we have an emergency.
Well, Ryan, I don't even understand how we could do the podcast right now.
It feels weird us doing the podcast knowing that Omicron virus is out there.
It's the Omicron.
You know, I just want to say, I want you guys to be staying safe out there. Hide your kids, hide your wife. I recommend you put your girlfriend in the cabinet, lock the cabinet. You do not want her getting out and chances of coming in contact with the Omicron.
Remember how
virus.
old Italian grandmas back in the day would put the thing over the couch so that the plastic,
yeah,
put that over
you
your
do
face.
That. Put that over your face. You're going to want a bag over your face, and especially if you're ugly, you're going to want 2 bags over your face.
or one bag, but just it's one way.
And I hate
not
to be
see-through bags.
It's not see-through. And the problem is, I've been finding out the hard way that Omicron virus.
Omicron.
The Omicron virus.
In certain parts of New York, it's pronounced Omicron.
Yeah, and it's been responsible for more things than you think. Like, I didn't know this, but you know how Asians were getting punched on the subway? It turns out the Omicron can do sort of like a... what's those
Kung Fu?
Transformers. And all the different variants form
for the
form,
Omicron.
Yeah, a person that punches Asians.
I think it's
the
actually
subway.
Omicron, not Omicron.
And then on top of that,
did we ever talk about the fact that they skipped the She virus? It was supposed to be called, the letters was XI was the next one, but that's the name of the Chinese.
Yeah, they didn't want it to be Chinese.
We'll go straight to Omicron.
Yeah, well, joke's on them because the Omicron variant's been forming a human, punching Asians on the subway. The Omicron variant, it actually turns out, post the case coming out, that the Omicron variant was the one that fucking put the noose around Jesse Smollett's neck.
And Bubba Wallace or whatever, he just nooses everywhere. It's fucking...
Yes. It was the Omicron variant all along. They took a bag.
I'm still so scared, though.
Yeah, they took a bag off of the Nigerians' heads to find like what you didn't want to happen. Did you know that the Omicron variant was the one that kicked us on Piker off Twitch?
What?
I know, man.
Fucking Omicron. I think it's Omicron.
Omicrono, the crony capitalism variant, and so we didn't want to have to do this, but there is good news because I know everyone's
There's
been
no
quivering.
good news.
I promise you,
all bad news.
Well, I thought that too, but here we are.
Is using his science skills to strike a new chord.
Yeah, science has done it again.
Out of the gate is already a banger. Yeah, science has done it again. With the vaccines, what they're talking about. Science is coming at you with another vaccine. Vaccines, Maxine, small peens.
DJ Fauci.
Saltines, my Lord Fauci. Maltesers, Canadian snack. Philosophies. All right, we'll see what this girl's really pumped up on the
mess that we're in, creating a new way to save the planet so we can get back to our usual habits.
But here's the issue, and it's quite severe. We need everyone in, or the result is clear.
That's the person you want rapping, right?
And it's quite severe.
But jokes aside, it's actually pretty serious.
It's you know what? That's literally like, remember, like the parents just don't understand, and there's like this stuffy teacher, and it's like, it's so severe that you doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. This isn't the first time they've used rap to combat, social problems. Like because remember when we were in school, and apparently they had a different word in here that's dare, but it's like don't do drugs.
Yeah.
They always had rap involved with don't do drugs.
We had dare.
Okay, well then we had dare too. But there's a lot of maybe they had.
We're so confused with the way things change when you move to America.
We don't know.
Like there was just like
we didn't have Diet Coke in Canada.
Yeah, we had dare, but there was a U in it somewhere.
Well, that's the thing. They always had it would be like some cool looking dude. Don't do drugs. They are bad. They make you sad, and they are not rad. And then some lady would be like, in all jokes aside, he makes a good point. You don't want to be smoking a joint.
But she's a plant. Like she's in the audience. And she goes, excuse me, but in all. And he goes,
and everyone goes, oh, this lady's rapping.
You just fucking own that heckler.
Oh. So this
then he grew up to be.
So they have a couple people. So what happened also is this is a science guy, and he decided that he wasn't getting the message across properly. Yeah. So he got together the big guns, which is this old lady, and then some other young, cool, hip rapper lady.
Virus will loiter outside your home, try to steal your breath, infect your dome.
So the virus is outside of your home, like we said. Infect your dome. Protect your neck. Did you say protect your neck?
No.
Protect your neck. Infect. And by the way, I'll tell you what's loitering outside of my home. It's not the virus.
I disagree. There's a lot of various viruses Ryan has a stage 5 Wuhan lab outside of his fucking apartment.
Protect your neck. Protect your dome. Okay.
Do you think fucking who is it? Juvenile? You think he's mad? He goes, "Yo."
I'm the sort of the
He goes,
rap guy.
"Vax that ass up."
That was already the anthem.
He goes, "Yeah, that's the anthem. Like, we're done with vaccine raps."
Yeah, I own the genre. I put my print on it. You're gonna be.
I got all that Soros money, and I'm like, it's over.
No, that's what these person think. They're gonna get money for the sequel. Oh no, the sequel!
Remix.
It turns out COVID was scarier than we thought. It's even worse. All right.
Now rat on your friends.
Rat on your friends. If you're a boss.
If your friends don't comply, rat them out.
Stay in your house, be like a mouse, eat some cheese.
To go and get the vax, you're gonna be safe in the face of virus attacks.
Defend ourselves from known mutations, party sensations across the nation.
Vax the nation, vax the nation, vax.
You know, actually,
vax the nation.
You know that the original
the nation, vax the nation, vax the nation, vax. I know we staying inside the crib. I'm wearing a bib.
You know the original version of that song actually was Bill Nye, but he actually accidentally dropped an N-bomb, so they had to cut
Yeah,
it.
Bill Nye came in hard. He goes, no ER on that one? Okay, you know.
He goes, but do you not know which communities are least vaccinated? Bill Nye's like, do you not understand the statistics?
And Bill Nye was sort of saying that. He goes, listen, you should have told me that beforehand, by the way. This is...
He goes, I thought this was a safe space.
Anyways, people... And by
now
the way...
he's got a science show on Daily Wire.
They're doing all these sort of,
Propaganda?
No, studies. I mean, everyone has studies that prove their thing, but there is a lot of studies that say, like, liberal or Republican, like 70% of people are kind of like, yeah, enough of this lockdown stuff, right? Like, no one's like, yo, sick.
For sure.
There's a lot of people reaching their sort of point where they go, okay, I was with your program.
Yeah, but they're like, what? So we just never, like, go
That's the
back
end
to
of it.
living?
Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of, you know, it's a funny phenomenon because you know how like people go, the right's getting better at comedy or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of what's actually happening is that liberals call everyone, or like people on the internet, people call everyone they disagree with right wing.
Of course.
And then so they go, like all these funny people, they go, look, all these people are right wing, and then like you see right wing people being like, yeah, you're right. There is a lot of
we
fun.
are.
Yeah, we are fucking.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, we are pretty funny actually if you think about it. But so American Airlines, when I was flying here, these people they're getting they're turning up the heat because I'm on the plane and the girl comes up to me within the first minute and she goes, "Hey, put your mask up, sir." Blah blah blah.
I bet you're flagged in the system. They go, "Hey, just have a talking with this guy who's in seat 18."
Well, this is what they said to me. They said you had 2 warnings total. So they go, "You only have 2 warnings, and that's your first warning, or before we're gonna give you a big juicy Smollett ticket."
What do you mean? They're giving out tickets?
That's the thing. I think they have the authority to give out tickets now.
Fuck? Dude, you're like in a database. You are like a known offender.
Well, I'll tell
Airlines.
you, it didn't end there, my friend.
Yeah.
So then,
Oh, of course not.
so as usual, the plane gets canceled, kicked off the flight.
I heard about this. This is.
Yeah, so I'm kicked off the flight, and then we have to go wait there
Do
for
you
2
still
hours.
have to pay the ticket, even though the flight never? Imagine they give you the ticket. And
No,
then
we
they
get
kick
back
you
on the
off.
flight 2 hours later, but if they deboarded, you know, whatever. And then I get back on the plane, and I come on with my mask a bit late. She goes, "That's your second warning," and I go, "No."
You're like, no, I left the plane. It resets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like a football game where you're like,
Come on.
you know, it's like a soccer. Yeah,
This
all
la-
the penalties reset.
This lady's trying to, no, I go, "Yeah, that was from the flight you kicked me off of." She goes, "No, that's the second warning." And I go, "Yeah, so if I'm eating now and I take my mask off for a little, you're trying to say you're just going to walk up and hand me a ticket." I go, and then eventually she goes, "Fine, you have one more warning."
You go, good, because I'm going to be using it. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Isn't that wild?
I've never heard of them.
Well, maybe she's lying, but she says they can give up fucking tickets now.
Who is American Airlines? Not the government. They could ban you from their airline.
Nah, she says he has ticket capabilities.
Imagine
She's walking around with a belt.
I'd love her to go to the back and like the other flight attendant's like, "Yo, stop saying that. You can't give out tickets." She goes, "I'm fucking giving out tickets." She's like the real loose cannon flight attendant.
Doesn't play by the rules.
Doesn't play by the rules. She goes, "You're getting fucking tickets, pal."
Yeah, basically. So that was a bit.
What court do you go fight that? You go fight that in the fucking like you gotta go
Space Court.
Space Court. You gotta go to like her back to the airport.
So yeah, they're adapting now. Anyways, the first. And then there was one last thing of the plane. There's a guy in the really.
You just
weird...
have a face too, because like that is for them to just straight up be like, hey, you have 2 warnings. Like, we fly so much.
I know, man. And then one guy on my plane on this thing beside me was air drumming for like a good half hour. It was insanity.
You were liking that, huh?
No, I was not liking that.
You guys didn't do like a duet kind of thing?
I was.
You're a drummer.
No, I was.
Did you be like, yo, I'm a drummer too?
How funny would that be if I just came up and I started air guitaring?
JJ
I
would
go,
be like, dude.
yo, shh, what song are you playing? Okay.
Sorry, what key are we in?
Isn't that crazy?
That's-
He was with his wife, and the wife fell asleep, and then he was listening to music, and he started getting into it. And he started going hard on the drums, and he's doing all the things.
Was there someone beside him on the other side?
Yeah, his wife.
But it's just his wife. Like, it'd be amazing. He's in a middle seat. His
Nah,
wife's
it
like,
wasn't that.
and you're like, fucking, can you stop?
By the way, I was thinking a lot of podcasts that do kind of like every day or whatever. I guess you just have to react to the day's things. Because I usually feel like when we do 3 hours a week, including Patreon, that's a pretty good amount of like all my favorite things to talk about for the week.
Yeah.
Whereas like that's how much stuff I have to say. Whereas like this week, I honestly felt like I was like, I could do 7 hours. There's like 8 things that I was like, I have 100 things to say about that.
Yeah, there's
But probably,
a lot of things that have been grinding the gears.
well, this didn't grind my gears. It was a classic case of when people get in trouble for, not following the rules and they're desperate to try to, flow. It's basically a university professor that got fired for mixing up the 2 black kids' names. And it's so funny because this guy is like a totally like, I definitely play by the rules type of guy, right? Like he's sort of, his thing is, no, I do all of the things. Like I've been saying my pronouns. I posted the things,
Of course, he's like, why I play exactly. He's like, I'm impervious to this.
He's trying
and
to be.
again, he's also just getting got for like a just minor error.
All right.
You know, like if this was any race of anybody else, you go, yeah, you keep calling, like, it's like I'm Danny and there's another guy, his name's Jeff, and you keep calling me Jeff and Danny. There'd be like no grounds where we're getting this guy fired. You'd be like, yeah, fucking Mr. Whatever. He's a real fucking goof. He's like always mixing up my name, but whatever. Like, I have this class and then it's,
is it possible?
I move on with my life.
It was on purpose where he goes, my name's, no, this is Tyrone. I'm Jordan. And he goes, hi,
It was
Jordan.
chicks, by the way.
Oh, really?
It was 2 black girls.
Okay.
Which is even more.
Wow, you can't tell girls apart.
No, it's that chicks.
I've never even looked at girls' faces.
It's-
You go, I'm the one with you go, not ringing a bell. You go, I'm the one with the bigger jugs. I go, oh. But
no, it's because they're fucking like first year college students who are really feeling their bullshit, and they go, yeah, you mixed up our names, huh? How about we end your life?
How about we mix up your career?
Yeah, how about we fucking put you in early retirement, pal?
Well, the thing is, I've been a proponent of this forever. This is one of my main theories, that everyone looks the same. Dude, so you're a name guy. And partially it's that I'm very loopy. I don't remember names. I don't remember faces. Bearded.
I remember faces. Late names I'm not good at.
Bearded white guys. That's why people always go, I'm sort of more of a name guy. And someone goes, I'm a face guy. And I go, yeah, I can't remember names and faces. Well, because, dude, like a guy like you, I probably had to meet you 3 times before I go, huh? And dude, they go, the guy that cries a lot.
Yeah. You know what he do? You know how many fucking people like again, it happens to me and they'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, yeah, there's tons of people who look like me.
Tons.
Like, but again, I'm
me.
not like offended. I go, excuse, like
I can't post a video online without a bunch of people telling me all the different people I look like.
Of course.
So for me, I go, especially if you're a different race, you say white people, there's 3 looks. White people maybe have more looks, but of those looks, you know what I mean? That's the looks.
Yeah.
Black guys have like the short black guy, the tall black guy, the like wearing a suit black guy, and then like fancy clothes black guy. White guy,
you don't think
white guy have fat beard?
There's no fat black guys? What?
Fat guys are in the tall guy black guy category.
Oh, I've seen some
white guys.
I've seen some short and stout.
No, you have fat beard, bald fat beard.
What's the fucking
guy that looks sort of like me?
Who's the dude who sings "Fuck You"? What's that dude?
And then Italian-y guy.
that
Those
guy,
are your
he's
4 types
short
of white
black
guys.
guy.
Well, yeah, they're okay. There's some.
No,
okay, there's
exactly.
4 or 5 types of black guys. Then there's
Yeah.
5 types of white guys. Asians probably have.
I'm literally breaking down the fucking barriers right now for the different types of black guys in your mind.
Yeah.
Black guys were like, well, there's no room for us in Ryan's mind. I go, there is now.
And you're
Short-
right. With
short,
girls,
fat black guys,
if girls,
come on
there's
in.
less types. Like if you think of Indian chicks, like there's less types of those. There's fat, skinny. Those are your 2 types.
They're all the same height.
And then the odd, like one that's like into punk kind of thing. You have more with tattoo,
the
sort of.
the wacky.
Wacky Indian chick.
Yeah.
So I've always said I can't tell the difference between anyone ever. However, they said, so the termination of the university professor reportedly stemmed from his repeated confusion of the names of the students. And they allegedly said that he felt like he was mixing the names up because they were black. Like they said he was doing it on purpose. But
What a weird passive aggressive
That's the
thing.
most
Because it's like,
especially because he's like a woke guy, right?
and like their names were like pretty normal. Like they weren't like, he just goes, oh, Kimberly. And she goes, oh, I'm Rachel. And he goes, he goes,
yeah, he's getting it
hey,
off.
hey,
of it.
hey,
Oh,
hey, Kimberly. She goes, I said my name's
oh,
Rachel. And he goes, oh, my mistake.
oh.
He goes, and then she puts her hand up. He goes, Kimberly. She goes, come on.
Come on. Well, I did it 4 times. So I will say, if the 3rd time they go, hey, you keep mixing up our names, you just go, I don't think I'm going to pick her this time.
Of course.
You stop saying the
But
names.
the problem
or
is-
you go, we're a name tag class now. That's
Name
the
tag class
situation.
for sure.
Name tag
It's
university
like
lecture.
it's like a mingler thing. But also like his problem is he probably picked them more because he's so obsessed with the diversity stuff.
very
so
obsessed with race.
he keeps going to the well, being like, no, we got to get more fucking minorities in these discussions. But he's bad with names, so he's like, you, and why not just you and appointing?
Dude, this is, you know what the worst one is? This is what Lev did. The guy thing, as a man, you never, when anyone shows up with a chick, the least bro thing you could ever do is go, yeah, we already met. You know what I mean? So people do that. They go, no, we met. And you just go, no. And never say that.
Never.
Because like,
Never.
you never know the situation, right?
Of course.
But Lev did that.
Also, sometimes you're wrong.
Well, yeah, duh. So Lev did that to me. And he goes, no, I met you before.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
So we're at Lev is a comedian in New York, right? We're at a party at his house, just sort of wrapping up. He comes out, he goes, oh no, I met you before. And she goes, no, I don't think you did. And she goes, yeah, I did. I go, no, it wasn't. I don't think. And he goes, no. You were at the bar. Remember you had the sticker on your laptop? And he goes, no, I wasn't at a bar with a sticker on my laptop. He goes, no, it was. I go, even she was kind of like, hey, dude, what are you doing right now?
Shut up.
Everyone was like, okay, we're going to leave. He goes, not before we get to the bottom.
Now we forget to who I met that day.
Yeah. He's one step away from, well, if not you, then who?
And you're just like,
No. It was so crazy.
So awkward.
I had to be like, Lev, shut the fuck up. You idiot. Publicly.
I remember that. That was funny as shit.
It's at least 4 of the bros move I've
Oh
ever
my God.
seen.
I mean, to not take one of the 40 hints you gave him too, along
Especially
the
when
way.
they stopped being hints and they started being everyone being like, oh, everyone there being like, Lev, this has to stop. And then, so they reported that the teacher, Trogan, is his last name.
Joe
Trogan
Trogan?
Horse.
Joe Trogan?
Joe Trogan. Reportedly dictated several emails to students after he received the complaints about repeated mix-up. Among those correspondences was an email sent to over his 80 students, which included a 9-page letter explaining his experience throughout the termination process. And his students, so basically another one of Trogan's emails to students following the incident, attempted to reassure his class that he was devoted to issues of justice, equality, inclusion. So he basically sent this email to 80 students begging, just being like, you don't understand. And what's all of the things?
Because he goes, I'm not racist.
I'm not sexist. I've dedicated my life. I'm one of the good guys.
He goes, if there's one thing that,
Please don't
if
send me the
anything, I'm
gulags.
just bad at names. And they go, that's a fireable offense, man.
Yeah, and so basically, he showed up at the people's houses, sort of kissing their feet, doing the whole thing. And if the students were smart, you know what I mean? They'd kind of go, you know, we could solve this very easily. I mean, midterms are coming up.
Of course. He goes,
If the students were smart.
You scratch my back. And
That's the thing. In the old days,
no, they want the power.
in the old days,
Yeah.
not the old days even, but like chicks that are smart know that they use these infractions to get things. Of
course.
And chicks that are dumb use it to like get the person in trouble, but they don't really benefit.
Oh, because you're a fucking, you're just like, people, probably all the teachers go, watch out for these two. They're troublemakers. Like,
But exactly. But if they were smart, they would go to the teacher and be like, listen, you said the name wrong 4 times. You sent this big thing. We got a pretty strong case for you. I'd like to see a 92 minimum.
what would you do if you found out if you saw a picture of both of them and they were both dressed as Where's Waldo? Like just head to toe exactly Where's Waldo.
Winning.
Yeah, just like, and he goes, I'm telling you, it's not me.
This can't possibly be my fault. You guys are
They're just like dressed identical.
big sunglasses, fake lips. They got the whole debacle on.
Or both in burqas. He goes, I'm telling you, it's hard to see past these things.
Burkas is tough.
You think somewhere in Saudi Arabia there's a teacher having this exact problem where students are like, excuse me, my name's... And he goes, yeah, that's 12 lashes. Let's see, anybody else have a problem with me forgetting your names?
Yeah. That'd be a tough sell. And then he saw, so he basically sent the whole thing and then tell me, well, you give me your prediction if you think this worked or didn't work. What are you thinking?
Not work.
You think it didn't work? Okay, we'll see. We'll read on and see if you're right or wrong. One of the students involved in the name mix-up. This is
The
news.
name mix-up. Like, they honestly talk about it like it was like a property crime or like an assault.
The name mix-up.
The great name mix-up scandal.
The 2021 great name mix-up scandal. So they had the great name mix-up scandal, and we'll see what happened at the end of the story. One of the students involved in the great name mix-up said that Trogan's email gave her the impression that he was portraying a white savior complex, according to the Observer, and all the other students
That
agreed.
I love too much. He goes, yeah, you know what? The name was, they actually said too, it's like the name stuff was bad, but then it was him apologizing.
He can't catch a break, this guy.
He was like, what do you want me to do? And then he apologized. So, and it's crazy too, because they like put a restraining order against him. Or not a restraining order, trespass.
Oh, I saw that.
That's
yeah.
like really like, the dude went from mixing up his students' names,
getting escorted off the premises,
to getting escorted off the campus, and he literally has a fucking like a trespass notice where he'd be charged with trespassing if he comes back.
Trespassing notice is fucking incredible.
Incredible! Like for the most, like dude, 10 years ago you could like physically assault a kid.
Oh, you can beat him with a ruler, that's for sure.
And it was, exactly. You used to be able to hit kids. Now you're like you mix up their names. And
you can beat him with a 12-inch ruler or your dick 4 times.
Legally banned.
Legally.
So
he was served with a trespassing order by the university's public safety office. Public safety office is very concerned about this name situation. We got a fucking real public safety issue. What happened? Names are getting mixed up.
I think this guy's in New York. We should call him up.
We should imagine this guy. No, he would never.
Think he'd come as a guest on the pod?
Only to apologize, probably. He would, unless he's sitting at home stewing right now and he wants to go full Brett Weinstein.
I wonder to the degree.
Professors have two paths. You either apologize for the rest of your life or you go full fucking.
The problem is he didn't do.
You go anti-vaccine
but
fucking professor on the university.
He didn't do something cool. Like it's not like he made some sick stance. He's just like, dude, it's a literal trope, the fucking aloof professor.
That is
He
funny.
probably has like the fucking Back to the Future hair and he's all like, you walk into his desk.
Got James Aldrich hair.
Yeah, you walk into his office, it's like a mess.
Star Wars stuff everywhere.
Yeah, you got like little Bob fucking and Funko Pops and it's just like papers everywhere. He's like, he's like a caricature of a fucking professor.
Probably.
He's got the elbow patches and all that shit. And
that is funny, the idea that like, Jordan Peterson's doing his like pronoun tour.
Yeah.
And then like Brett Weinstein's doing his like, vaccine stuff. And then this guy's like the third speaker. And he goes, first, you can't mix up names. He has to do his dissertation on the name. Fucking great
what
name
is a
mix-up.
name anyways? No, he probably goes to the...
You're right. He doesn't have as cool of a grievance.
Yeah, you're like, what's your grievance? You just kept... And then you doubled down on all the like,
we should be able to mix
you
up
can't
names.
fire me. I'm an ally.
Yeah, that's he sort of has doubled down on his 80-page. That is, I'll tell you what, your wacky university professor theory does sort of combine pretty well with the 80-page dissertation.
Yeah, of course. He's just
like he was up all night on the computer.
And it's like an English class or something. Like it was in English. It was like not even like a useful thing. And
I also think that he probably thought that was going to work too. Like his wife was like, I don't know. He's like, with the mad scientist typing, he was doing it in the bath like Trumbo.
Yeah, on the typewriter.
He's on a typewriter.
Smoking his corn cob pipe or whatever. He's like,
we're going to take care of this situation. I'll have my job back by sundown. And they stated he could not come onto the university grounds or communicate any further with the students. So he's literally at the this sounds like me, man. I should have this guy go. I go out with a couple guys that were banned from university premises. I also had that.
Yeah.
But except my thing was he's at the university premises and the guards are kicking him out and he's just like, just wanted to say so. He tries to do the, he tries to
is
do the
it
RM.
too late now to say...
Too late to say sorry.
His probably big thing, like his big...
Yes, the fucking, what do they call the Spanish band?
Oh, the mariachi band?
He has a mariachi band backing him up.
His probably like big move now professionally from this is he's gonna be working the merch table at Jordan Peterson events. He's not really speaking territory.
He's gonna be working Orin Orvite's merch table.
Dude, you could be selling copies of 12 Rules if you want.
The Fordham professor attempted to use his union membership as leverage to help him in the case, but Trogan's termination made him ineligible for the union to file a grievance on his behalf, according to the Observer. What kind of union, once you get fired, they're not your union anymore?
Yeah, they go, yeah, we're fucking... fucking professors union.
But isn't that like a big part of the union?
They defend you.
If you get fired...
Dude, it's like cops like literally kill people, and the union's like, you cannot pay. You have to pay him. Don't even think about firing him.
You fucking got another
the
thing
fucking
coming,
professors union. You're like, hey man, I don't know this guy. I don't know.
The teachers union.
Is he even in this union?
I never heard of him.
The only thing I can say.
Crazy? I don't
the
know.
only thing I can say about this guy, maybe a fucking like just silver lining here is because this is America. He's gonna sue the shit out of that school.
That'd be nice.
Because everybody
you can't lose your job for mixing up names.
Mixing up names?
That's wild.
That's like
I think I read somewhere else that they agreed to like
dude, that's
demote him
literally like
to some crappier
that's like
job.
North Korea shit or whatever. Where like you go, someone's like you like a high level politician. You say their name wrong, and then you just go to like
the
gulags for 10 years breaking rocks, and you go, whoops.
Also, there was another white professor who pretended to be black, and he admitted to faking his identity. We're not going to get into that one, but all I was going to say is if pretending to be black's a crime, arrest everyone from my hometown. Go back to Pickering High School.
I was actually going to say if being black's a crime, arrest the one black kid I went to high school with.
That's pretending to be black's a crime. So that was probably those. I'm always liking those because you know they just.
I mean, the thing is, it's like at what point
shines a spotlight on how fucking wild things are.
Absolutely, and like at what point are like the people who are doing this like they don't. You know, maybe they get so caught up in it.
No, they're afraid it's going to be them, man. This guy's what
I'm saying these girls. Like, at what point did they be like, "Yo, we like really fucking ruined this guy's life over nothing"?
No, they're pumped. They moved on. They're not even thinking. They're on
to the next thing.
That being said, I won't even say that's because like, that is even necessarily like a social justice-y kind of mentality to ruin people's lives and not think past. Although it is, it's also just a young person thing. Like think about how many young people kind of grow up and they're like, yeah, I was kind of a dick to my dad or whatever. Like you could be 19 and you're like, you know, your first year college, you like get some professor fired and you like laugh about it once and never think about it again.
You've never had a job before, so you're like fucking.
You never think about it again.
That like this was his whole life's work. It's like his whole life. And again, he's like not highly skilled. He was teaching like an English class at Fordham University. Like,
and he was doing all this stuff too, like teaching about, you know, that is funny because he's doing like dissertations about microaggressions and then he's also mixing up all the names.
Feel bad for this guy.
You know, whatever. It is what it is.
We should get a GoFundMe started for him.
Well, that's how some people deal with getting in trouble and trying to, you know, pander to the whole thing in the university setting by, you know, writing any dissertations, begging. They try to do the Mr. Rogers washing feet. They go up to girls' houses. And that is funny though. Actually, now that I think about it, because you're like washing the girls' feet, you go up and you go, "Hey, ladies, I'll kiss your feet," and and he starts kissing girls' feet. It's like, well, now you're going to jail for sexual assault.
You got a new set of problems, pal.
You just showed up and started kissing girls' feet.
What are the percentages that this guy's fucking carrying a tiki torch at the next Unite the Right rally? He goes, I tried to play by your rules.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Tried.
Well, this gynecologist, his name's Ryan Stewart. And so he basically, he was trying to get some points or whatever. Or maybe he was in good faith.
I think he believes in good faith, believes the bullshit.
Yeah. So,
which is,
to be honest, okay.
Stories always
well, let's say the story first. But what happened was this gynecologist, basically, he posted a thing online being like, hey, I'm starting my new gynecology clinic. And could girls give me any tips on what design and what might make the gynecologist office better?
Yeah.
And so, to be fair, it is funny being like, so there was some like decent tips, you know, like things like,
less hidden cameras.
No, some of them were like,
Yeah, like an area to change
Yeah,
where
less
someone
of a
doesn't
camera.
walk in when
Some
I'm
shit like that. They were like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have the interns come into the room unless you like ask me first. And some
Yeah,
of them
because
were
I'm like,
that.
I have my fucking legs up in a thing, or like, don't make it freezing cold when I'm fucking.
Yeah, some of the stuff was kind of reasonable.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, for sure.
But there was a few that were not very funny. Like a lot of the normal stuff. Like I need more like nude models that look like me or whatever. And then some of them were like, I need to
Oh
make
yeah, like the magazines. Or
yeah, they were like,
something.
don't have bad magazines. Don't put. They said no TV because sometimes people put Fox News on the TV and that triggers me. And then the one girl was like, don't have any scales there because it's triggering to like step on a scale.
Also, if you could reinforce the foundation, I don't like it when the floor
Boards
cracks when I'm walking. When the floor cracks below me, I don't. I'm not a
Right.
fan
So,
of that.
but the problem is he basically said, "Hey, women" or whatever, and then the internet sort of quote tweet blew up on him. Being
But it was
like,
positive. It would be like I remember it was trending as like this gynecologist. Like it was a positive trending story on Twitter, being like this guy does it right.
No, it was until so the story went positive where everyone said like good gynecologist, good male gynecologist.
until he messed up somebody's name.
But he said it was women instead of he said it
birthing persons.
Yeah, instead of birthing persons, and he did a big apology. But the bottom line was the male gynecologist is the ultimate in pervy jobs, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's like I mean, it's male feminism essentially, where you're on.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You instantly go, it's a dude.
It's weird.
Like there's motive. What you just like? I mean, I get it, but like, I mean, I don't but like. You could be any kind of doctor, and you're like, yeah, I want to be a.
It just seems like such an. I guess it probably makes a decent money, but it seems like such an insane.
So does being a fucking optometrist.
Well, yeah. So you're in your class, and they go, picking your majors, and you're put it this way: any guy that stands up and they go, okay, pick your major. The guy runs to the front like, gyno.
You know what it is? It's almost like, remember there was like the classes in university where you're like, yeah, it's all chicks. It's like, like literally gender
That one's
studies.
probably all
gender
chicks.
studies, right? You go, yeah, like there were always the few dogs. who'd be like-
fucking
who'd be like,
sociology's all chicks. Yeah.
yeah, but they're like even they'd be like, I'm in gender studies. They're like
For the
tang because they're like, there's 3 guys and 80 chicks in this class. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what he goes. He goes, yeah, I'm gonna stack the deck in my favor.
He became permanently.
Or he was
I'm gonna
such
stack
a
the deck
nerd
permanently.
where he like tried to fuck some girl. Maybe it was like a story where he tried to like get with some girl and he was so inept, like he couldn't do anything. And then he's like, you know what? I really need to learn how these things work.
Oh yeah, so he's trying to be a gyno. He's like in the class being like, when do you get how the clitoris works?
At what point are we going to learn how to please a woman? They go, this is not that.
But yeah, it is male babysitter. It's not that, obviously, if someone has a good story why, you go, why were you that? You go, I just did this, and my wife ran the babysitting business, I took it over. Or, my mom ran one. Or
Yeah, but there's like your
there's
life's
people with a
work.
thing. But yeah, it's like, I guess even now, I'd be like, why are you a gyno? My dad was a gyno. My
I get-
grandfather was a
that's
gyno.
the only thing. And then you go, yeah.
A gyno legacy.
Gyno legacy.
This is what happened. He goes, if you had footage of this
And
guy.
then you go, wait, was your mom a gyno? I go, no, she was a dumb bitch. And you go, oh,
Yeah. I hate my mom.
that's weird.
But you go, what? So they basically start first day of class and they put the vagina up there and he goes, yes. He runs up on the front of the thing and spits on it. He goes, am I doing it right?
He goes, mister, could you please come step over here? And he's like, can I just stay seated for a bit?
Yeah,
No, I just, that's okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to fucking keep it down for a second. Why? Why is your book moving? You want to see a magic trick? He goes to the girl beside him. He goes, shh, want to see a magic trick? You ever heard of levitation? Call me David Blaine. Call me Chris Angel because I'm making this pencil case levitate. So all of this stuff, they pointed out the incorrectly said, and then he had to go back and say folks who needed my thing. But so that was like the first half of his gynecology thing. But the reason I brought it up was, so this is a gynecology.
Well, he did apologize, and he straight up had to.
He did the whole thing.
This whole thing ended with him apologizing.
It wasn't a crazy amount of meat on this thing as much as like it was funny. Just you could never do it right. But it also is funny that like I can see being a male gyno and trying to be like putting yourself out there to do all the right things. But if you're a male guy, like you should just keep a low profile because honestly, I feel like it's only time till people go, you know what? No more male gynos. Why is any gyno male
allowing this?
Dude, if I know most chicks that go, I would never go to a male gyno. And to be fair, I don't think I'd like to go to a female dick doctor.
That's probably why he had to.
Would you ever go to a female cock doctor?
Female cock doctor?
Doctor?
guess depends how hot she was.
Would you ever date a girl who's a female cock doctor?
I don't know if there's such a thing. What, a urologist?
Wow, she just checked boner inspector.
Boner inspector? I would date a female boner inspector.
Well, because it is a urologist. I told you that one time because I had to get all my ball surgeries,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
basically the guy came in, and one time he was grabbing my balls, and he goes, "Big balls." Can you imagine a guy did that to like a girl where he goes, "You feeling the jugs for cancer?" And he goes, "Nice set." You have what we call in the industry a nice set.
Is that I learned that in med school.
No, that is the technical term.
I wonder with this gynecologist, because he went to the birthing person thing, do trans women, even if they've had the surgery, like they don't have any reason to go to a gynecologist?
It doesn't really seem, no, because they still have internal parts, I guess, right?
Female internal parts?
What, you're saying a girl that had the surgery to be a guy?
No.
Guy that
I'm saying
has
a
surgery
guy
to be a
that
girl?
has surgery to a girl, so you have like a fake vagina.
No. That's not who goes to a gynecologist.
That's what I'm saying, but he's
no,
saying-
it's the other way around.
Oh, right.
Idiot.
But I'm saying, does he have like where it's just for the charade? Where,
No,
like,
it's for fucking
know,
girls
I know.
that trans into guys. So men go to gynecologists if they're men now, and they
even
used
if
to
they
be a
have the
girl.
peens?
Well, how would you get a peen?
I don't know. Don't female the fucking or
Fake peens?
Yeah, they get
Yeah,
like some
but-
fucking thing where they like.
Okay, so now that we're on the same page, if we backtrack 3 minutes, they still have the same internal parts.
But how do you get in there?
They're the ass.
You know what I mean? Like, I have real questions here.
Right.
But also, I'm like, do
but-
you get fucking trans women who are like, yeah, I'm a woman, I go to a gynecologist, and he goes,
No, that's crazy.
but it must happen.
What would you be going for?
Just because you're a woman?
No,
That's
they
what
do
women
have that. And I think that's one of those things where it's like everyone just has to play pretend.
That's what I'm saying.
Where the
It's
guy
like-
has to check like fake titties for lumps and stuff.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You go, hey, I'll
check
check your, like, you're checking
every-
like silicone titties to make sure
Yeah,
there's
he
no lumps
goes.
in the
He
silicone.
looks around there. He goes, everything looks good. He goes,
Yeah, I
when
don't-
was your last period?
Yeah, everyone just sort of does it like that.
Yeah,
right?
like it's like a kind of like just pretend a bit.
Everyone, you go, who's this all for?
But the other way around too, I go, if you have the fucking peen, your the hole's gone.
Right, but no, he has to go through the peen hole, the fake peen hole.
He goes, this is gonna really fucking hurt.
Yeah.
But
We can do this, but there's only one way to do it. How bad do you want to do this visit as a dude? Okay, but another gynecologist. So there's two ways to play it.
Yeah.
So this is this gynecologist in Italy. He comes out and basically he saw this story. I don't know if you saw this story,
I
but what he did. So an esteemed, winning awards, esteemed Italian gynecologist. I don't know how you win in be esteemed gynecologist. You know what I mean? Like you're winning awards. Like everyone knows this guy's
this
fucking.
guy's the best
Yeah.
pussy doctor on earth.
I don't even know how do you even know.
Like, what are
you
the
know what I mean?
awards?
Nicest touch, more like softest hands.
Soft to say, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they go and esteemed. Like least calluses.
I guess, or like it's one of those things you go, okay, we're all done. He goes, I didn't even know you started. He goes, I'm that good.
I'm not good.
that good.
He's taking the light off his head. They go, an esteemed Italian gynecologist tried to persuade female patients into engaging in sexual intercourse with him by claiming that it could help them get rid of human papillomavirus, HPV, according to reports. According to the Italian newspaper Repubblica, several women agreed to have sex with him, afraid of the consequences of HPV, and other patients, Repubblica reported, refused to be convinced. So, first of all, you kind of go, so basically he's out there telling chicks like,
Insane.
it's
That's like a dentist being like, look, if you suck my dick, you'll never get a cavity. And you go, that makes sense.
that's the part I go, are they, is it that girls are that stupid?
Yes.
Or is it that like men could fall for this too? I mean, because if you think about it the other way around, like that'd be funny, like a chick doctor where she's telling all these dudes she had to suck them off in order to fucking prevent cancer. And the guy's like, the doctor said, and the girl's like, got him.
Or what about even like one of our boys be like, he's talking about HPV and he goes, yeah, I can't get HPV. And you go, oh, what do you mean you can't get HPV? You go, yeah, my doctor fucked me in the ass. And he said that as long as he fucks me in the ass, that I can't get HPV.
Isn't that wild?
You go, okay.
Well, yeah. So, but like this is one of those stories where you would legitimately, you're always surprised with how stupid people are because you go, no, that's not the case, right? And then they go, no, this is correct, according to Italian newspaper. And multiple girls fell for it, or the girls knew and they were like trying to smash, and then their husband found out and they go, he told me that this is how I don't get sick. It's almost like you don't believe it. But one of his patients claimed the doctor told her not to trust the results of an HPV test, which came up negative. So one of the girls got a negative HPV
got
test.
the
He goes, you
test.
can't trust those things.
He goes, but you ordered the test.
He goes, there's only one way to really.
He goes, it's a formality. They make me order these things. Total scam.
Yeah, it's a total scam. The only way to really do it. And he offered up some, he called his dick decontaminant.
I call my dick
Crazy.
contaminant, actually.
He advised her that she could eliminate the infection by having sex with a vaccinated person, such as himself, the woman claimed. So he says he passes off his vaccination.
There's like a degree where you're like, if this person's not like...
It's real though. And it's even, what's
Like,
even,
I know he's like a doctor and you like trust doctors, but you're like, wow.
well, I mean, that's what I'm saying with the COVID thing. It is this all like trust the science. And it's like, you could basically, Fauci could say anything. And some people, if Fauci told people right now, a certain type of person, like, listen, there's only one way to do this. And you just shove a beer can up your ass. It's like, and then you need to fucking sucking off the Fauci can actually, I actually have the vaccine, but I put it in my dick and then I lost the recipe.
Yeah. The only way that we can get it is if you get it out.
Yeah, then there's only one way to get it out. And then he goes, he has to get out in the form of cum. He goes, but that's too much. We probably shouldn't do that. And he goes, but I want the vaccine. He goes, you know what? That would be unprofessional of me.
Yeah, I mean, I realize that all of humanity's at stake, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I took an oath.
I took an oath as a doctor, but on the other hand, we want you to be vaccinated. Oh, we're at a conundrum right here.
I could see Italian doctors not taking any of those oaths. So they're going, I didn't take no oath. So,
well, that's the thing. She probably said, she goes, where's the vaccine for the HPV? And he goes, hey, it's in the fucking cock. Hey, oh.
there is an actual vaccine.
Yeah, but he said that,
HPV. Also, like everybody has it.
he said he said you could take it, but it takes forever and you might still get it. Or option 2. So this is the alternative end of the spectrum. One is like, kind of a progressive doctor out there, looking at vaginas, trying to be like, hey, what's the best way for me to look at your vagina? Like, I'm going to be looking at lots of vaginas all day, but like, I want you to be comfortable while I get my fucking fill. And this guy's out here being like, yo, I have to have sex with you so you don't get diseases.
I feel like this is the female equivalent of like when guys get like the Nigerian prince scam. This is
Yeah.
The female equivalent. They go, I thought he could cure HPV.
It really does. You go, I can't believe people are that dumb.
Like, there's women who are listening to this who are just like, feel like stupid. Not even stupid, but they're like, these women are just making them look bad.
They do make them look
bad. They're just like,
bad.
this is any common sense person goes, this is fucking idiotic.
Well, I reported the judge. The best is how they found him because they said, he took advantage of the conditions. It was like, no shit. And the arrest order was basically what they did was they did like a Chris Hansen sting on him.
Oh my God.
So basically, like a policewoman went to his office and he was doing all this whole thing. And then the doctor tells girls he meets them in a hotel. So at no point is the girl in the hotel.
Yeah, you're not even getting fucked in the office.
Yeah. So they go to the hotel. He doesn't even do it in the office. And these girls went to the hotel to meet up with his doctor. And then they did the sting operation. So there's different ways to be a gynecologist. But this should confirm girl suspicions where you go, that like whether there's been a lot of gynecologists that get busted with like hidden cameras and all that stuff. If you're a chick and you're seeing a dude, if I was dating a girl and she's like, I only go to male gynecologists, I would be suspicious. I go,
yeah. Like, do you have a rule about that?
Mm-hmm. It just seems strange.
Unless she's just cool and she's like, yeah, they're better.
Oh, yeah? Well, I don't care if they're better. That's the thing. She goes, well, do I want to get, have some creep looking at my vagina or do I want to have the girl that's flubbing the tools? He goes, she puts her like poker and she goes in there with like the mirror thing. She puts it in there and then she comes up. She goes, we have a problem. And they go, what happened?
Hey, do you know where I left that thing?
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
So-
I don't even, I imagine the people who got probably do feel like victims, but
It's hard to.
just so.
I almost don't believe it. I feel like the girls knew what they were doing. They wanted this Italian D, man.
How many did he get?
He got like a bunch, handful. No pun intended. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick second here to talk about our sponsor, one of our favorites, Mint Mobile.
Love Mint Mobile.
The mintest sponsor. Danny's been telling us about this before they even came out of a sponsor. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you'll get another 3 months free. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone phone plans starting at just $15 a month. So they're online, they're cheaper. There isn't a catch. Danny always thought there was. He was like, there's got to be something going on here. Nothing going on. That's the deal. By going online and eliminating traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, high-speed data delivered on one of the nation's largest 5G networks. So use your own phone that you already have now. You don't have to change your number and keep your plan with Mint Mobile and all your existing contacts. Insane not to do it. For a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months free by going to mintmobile.com/boyscast. That's mintmobile.com/boyscast and cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/boyscast. Secondly, we got to tell the boys about Boll and Branch sheets again. Now, we've been telling you these are, the softest sheets, the nicest sheets, high-value male sheets.
Oh, high-value male sheets, big time.
We spend 1/3 of our lives in bed, so pure organic cotton sheets from Boll and Branch make a truly special gift. They make the highest quality sheets by doing things the right way, not the easy way. High quality product. They have the best comfort, quality, feel at a fair price. And if you're having trouble sleeping, maybe you're sleeping there, your girl's been kicking you every night, you're thinking about all this stuff. Every little bit helps. Soft sheets will help you sleep, and pillowcases. Boll and Branch holds themselves to high standards across the board, from sourcing pure organic cotton to putting workers' rights first. So they care about all aspects of production. And it's not just their sheets that are made the right way, the pillows, bath towels, robes. You can be a cool robe guy showing up with the music playing. Treat yourself and your loved ones to a new standard in bedding from Boll and Branch. Their gifts come wrapped and ready in the special holiday packaging. And if you order by 12/19 for guaranteed delivery by Christmas, so that's by December 19th, you want to get on that, get up to 20% off your order with promo code Boyscast at bollandbranch.com. That's bollandbranch.com, promo code Boyscast. See the site for details, and some exclusions may apply. So that's the fine news, but there's bad news also this week. So
bad news besides,
well, the people know
Omicron.
Well, the bad news is that The Hill and some other places are onto your old tricks, and it says Bitcoin surge is a boon for white nationalists. So,
yep.
Well, what happened was the fucking people at The Hill found out that Danny interviewed Lauren Boebert.
I was co-interviewed Lauren Boebert.
Danny went on in Hot Water, Berg's show, and they had
last summer.
Last summer he went on in Hot Water, and they had Lauren Boebert on.
Yeah, it was like when she was still running or whatever, and then Gyno was like, "Yeah, we're doing." I'm like, "What are we doing today?" And he's like, "Yeah, we got an interview." And I go, "Okay, who are we interviewing?" He's like, "Yeah, we're interviewing like this chick who she works at like a restaurant or whatever. She owns a restaurant somewhere in like Denver, but she like carries a gun in her restaurant, and she's like really into guns, and she's like." And I go, "Oh, that sounds pretty wild." And then she comes on, and I remember like she was trying to like use the video, and I kept swearing, and she could be like, "Can you stop swearing?" Because
she didn't like the
swearing. Well, I can't use the video, and she's like pretty like conservative, like
she wanted to use her in Hot
Christian
Water
lady,
clip
and then
for
she
the promo
fucking
trail.
won, and then now she's like the insane, and then it got written up on like. Some fucking random thing being like, Lauren Boebert goes on racist podcast.
And it was Danny's picture on the front of it.
Photo, and I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know.
Well, that's the thing. They found out racist podcaster, Bitcoiner.
Yep.
Crypto.
That's the whole point of crypto is you can fucking be racist.
No, it really is like, and you're going to see a lot, folks, you're going to see a lot more of this in the coming years, but is anything that they can't, that's why Bitcoin, they're chomping at the Bitcoin to get their paws on controlling Bitcoin. And you're just like, it's so funny because there's like, Bitcoin's racist, Bitcoin sexist, because, and it's like, that's the whole point is no one can control it. So it's like, if you want to do something about it, go buy a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then you control, like most of these decentralized places, how it works is how many votes you get is determined by how much you own of that specific thing.
Absolutely.
So it's like, they're just like, it's like they refuse to accept
There's no
the rules.
gatekeepers in cryptocurrency.
It's so crazy.
Nobody shows up and they go, "Hey, I'd like to buy some." And you go, "You can't buy Bitcoin. You're a woman."
Yeah. So they do this with all the things where they go, not enough firemen or women or whatever, or not enough, people on Comedy Central or trans, whatever the thing you want to do.
That's true.
Okay.
Actually, there are.
Right.
Well, it's less than 100%, which is
Yeah, that's a problem
That
for
is a
me.
problem.
That's a problem. But the actual thing here, you go, well, what do you want them to do? So it just seems so weird, even if you're into this stuff, where the articles aren't even like, we should do something about it. It's like the only thing they could be proposing is the government needs to get into crypto. Like, it's money, essentially. Yeah. So it's like the government being, it's like they say, hey, money has a racism problem. You go, what's the problem? Oh, too many racists own money.
Yeah. Well, it was like gold. Like, you're like, hey, we can't control who has gold. There might be some racist with some gold. You go, yeah, there are.
Yeah. There's probably some racists with some gold.
Racists own houses, too.
But this is the thing. Also, they're like, Bitcoin made some racists rich. Like, guess what else did? The S&P 500.
It's so stupid.
It's so, but
the only thing is because
it's a lot of this popping up.
This is I hate to get like trapped in some sort of clickbaity thing, but like the actual in the fucking article, it literally says, it goes, nothing is inherently criminal or extreme about it, and most of its users have no connections to the extreme far right.
No, that's them being like, if just in case if you're thinking, do I own Bitcoin? Do I have a problem? That's them reassuring their viewers like, no, but you're still okay to own it.
You have the non-racist Bitcoin.
You're allowed to own it. Don't worry. We're going to allow you to own it. We give you sort of the go ahead, because as some people are reading this, they go, honey, this Bitcoin stuff that you've owned, it turns out it's racist.
Racists have been owning Bitcoin.
This is a thing they always do with even, podcasts or whatever. They go, look, some fan, look who likes you. It's racist. You go, yeah, right now the racists are listening to the Rolling Stones somewhere too. Of
course.
And you go, well,
we're not trying to vilify the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
We like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Walmart has a racism problem. Guess what? If you go to fucking the dirty, the fucking most like white trash, white areas, you go, one of those Walmart customers right now is probably racist.
Oh, disgusting.
Disgusting.
Just the idea that
Walmart needs to own up to that.
Gross. Walmart.
Fucking Walmart. They go, the increase in Bitcoin's value over the last few years has made several prominent white nationalists rich, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. So like the Southern Poverty Law Center has went from like, trying to, stop like, hate bombings to like, hey, that there's a white nationalist that has money.
Hey, we got someone's fucking Bitcoin address, and look at this. They have a bunch of Bitcoins in there.
What do you want us to do about it? The government should take their money away. For fucking what? Well, we think they're racist. You go, racists shouldn't be on their own money. It's like, well, what do they do? You go, well, how do they eat? You go, well, I guess
they should be able to alive.
What are you talking about?
Get them an island.
So the Bitcoin stuff's been interesting because they really don't like things that they fucking aren't able
First
to do
off, another
something
stupid
about.
thing too, because they keep saying that, like on another thing, they go, currency provides a valuable payment method for white supremacist figures or whatever, because they can't use credit cards and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you're the reason they own Bitcoin then.
But again, you still need to get your Bitcoin into US dollars.
Not always.
Like, you're not paying your rent in Bitcoin. I mean, in some instances, you could have a cool landlord who's like, yeah, I guess I'll take Bitcoin because fucking you're unbankable. But most normal people, like if you want to do any sort of like interaction in fucking society, you still need to turn those into dollars.
That's true, yeah. First of all, they said it was 600. So they go 600 far-right extremists own cryptocurrency holdings. So according to the research, there's 600. Several prominent white supremacists like Andrew Onheimer, Andrew Eglin, and Stefan Molyneux were the early adopters of Bitcoin, providing them with significant windfalls. So, but it's like, and then they said what you said, where they go the PayPal thing, and you are right that they still have to turn it into money. But also they were like, so they're not allowed to use PayPal or any payment processors, and they have Bitcoin now. And you're just like, well, I wonder. Yeah, you just said you like banned them from all the other things. Like, well, yeah.
And then also like, don't discount the degree of luck in which these guys were like fucking super online people forever.
Right.
So like when Bitcoins were $10, people were like, here, I'm going to tip you like a fucking Bitcoin. Thanks for your journalism or whatever the fuck. And then they were like, yeah, whatever. I have Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I have millions of dollars because it's gone up fucking 5,000%. Whereas like, probably when they had them at the time, it was like, whatever. It was.
I guess the only point of this article, like, how whenever you're talking about something, it's kind of a little bit, and I always think of that whenever, whether it's a joke or a sketch, I'm always like, what point am I making? You know what I mean? Because it's not just like, this is something that happened. With this, as a journalist, it's like, what's the like thesis of this other than something exists? Like,
you're just acknowledging, yeah, like. It's. I mean, again, you said it, but it's the equivalent of being, hey, you know, there's some far right nationalists who own cars.
Yeah, and they own property or something.
And you go, okay.
That's Stefan Molyneux is sort of what happens a lot. He's the one.
I guess the real.
He's the
thing,
guy that got into the race IQ.
Race IQ.
So how many people in prominent positions like ruined their life from like delving into being, I'm going to be the race IQ guy. And then it becomes this loop where people goes, you can't talk about that. And then they go, I'm like a truth teller. So you only talk about that. Basically, this is what I was thinking. Because you're not supposed to talk about race IQ, JQ, QAnon, basically any topic with Q in it.
I smell a bit.
Do you think I should take that to the stage?
That's coming to the stage. Coming to the stage.
I promise you that will not be on my next special. What's the deal?
No, that's like a Seinfeld. They go, everything that's a Q in it. QAnon, JQ.
Race IQ.
Race IQ.
That's how you get into trouble. Is any question that sort of involves Q in it.
I mean, it is a very astute observation.
Well, it always goes back to the sort of decentralized things where they don't like things they can't control. And by the way, me and Danny were in, where were we this weekend? Phoenix. Pretty fun. Lots of people came to the show. It was pretty fun. But I'll tell one quick thing that I went fucking hiking, and I'm not a guy that likes to do stuff. So I was basically like,
you went hiking begrudgingly.
I sort of went begrudgingly hiking, but it was sort of also fun too. And then I basically, within an hour, I walked through an area that I got all these cactuses balls stuck to me. And so basically they have tons of spikes. And then on top of that, they stick to you.
Yeah.
So these cactuses mean business, right?
Oh, yeah,
They've been evolving for
They are very much cactuses.
They've been doing their work to fucking get back.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be a pain in the knee, right? So I got like 10 cactus balls all over myself. And each one has about 10 spikes in me.
Yeah.
So I'm bleeding. And then you can't take them off because basically you can't touch them. So what I did was I got 2 sticks and I'm trying to get these balls off one by one. And then you try to push the stick up and then it would move over and just go to a different part of your leg and be in more. So I'm like, my whole legs are covered in blood. I have these 2 sticks and then I take my shirt off and I'm trying to use my shirt in one hand, a stick in the other hand to get the cactus off. And then eventually I just go, okay, I need to take a break. So I'm just walking around with full of, bleeding with cactus balls. And I'm just like, glad we went hiking.
Yeah, your girl's like taking selfies being like, hike life. And Ryan's in the back bleeding everywhere. He's like, oh my God, I love nature. Ryan's just like, shut the fuck up.
I got fucking cactus.
Ryan's like in the background. It's like, I think I'm going into shock.
I'm covered in cactus balls. Like, who likes this shit? Hiking.
I mean, again,
Who could have known?
It's as easy as just don't walk into a cactus.
Oh, yeah, they're tricky. There's like, I guess they sort of, the cactuses are also sort of camouflage too, right?
There they are.
These things know what they're doing. They're not fucking around, these cactuses.
No.
Because it's not the balls. I was looking out for cactuses. I go, the big green things, you don't go into them. They don't also tell you, but there's little ones sort of kicking around.
Oh, they're everywhere.
And they sort of jump onto you. So, but the bottom line was, I was going to say with the things that the industry controls or whatever, every time I'm, in these hotel rooms or with places with cable, I never watch cable. And I always do like a little deep dive because it's a fun thing to sort of see what they're up to. And because I never watch it. It is nuts. So first of all, one of the interesting things is they have the same sponsors on like Comedy Central as the podcast circuit, right? Mm-hmm. So I know their numbers. So they're not even making more money, like pulling in more cash at these places, right? So they're all just like these legacy things that they own that you hope to break even. And you know what else they have? They have sponsors that most podcasters would say no to. They have sponsors like, for example, sex lines. So it's like they cut from, South Park or Trevor Noah or Charlemagne's show, and they cut to like, hey, you a sexy single? We're just alone at 9. Call. We'll talk about sucking your dick off.
And
then they come back.
Exist?
And then they come back to Trevor Noah, who does straight up like an interview with a girl, and she's kind of like an actress, and it's on this thing, and she goes, it's so good to just be a black actress on this, on this show because it's only white men. And Trevor's like, yeah, it is only white men. And she's like, it is so hard. You're only. And they go on for about 8 minutes about how like they've overcame the adversity of all the white men or whatever, right? And then they cut from this like serious like racial conversation about white men being everywhere or whatever. Yeah. Then they cut to like, yo, you want to get sucked off? Because I got 5 minutes. Me and my friends love when you give us phone for $9.99 a minute. And you're like, I don't think that
I didn't even know they had 900 numbers anymore.
I don't think that if I got a sponsor option, like if someone said, hey, do you want to sign with this sponsor? And I read the copy and it was like, it's like, do you want to call these 7 sexy singles that can talk to you about how they'll blow you and blah, blah. I don't think I'd want to do that, sponsor. It's too weird.
Yeah, that's very... It's funny you actually say that because the other night, maybe Monday night, I was... I can't remember what I was watching, but I was like, you know what? I want to see what's going on Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show. I hadn't watched
What's
it.
Fallon saying?
So I tuned in, and he's interviewing Dakota Johnson, I believe is her name. She's like the actress. I think she was in the Touch of... What's that fucking... Those BDSM movies,
All right.
or whatever.
It
was insane. So first off, she's on a TV, so I don't think he has guests in person anymore because of COVID, or maybe he does. I don't know. But so it's just like, so it's him and a TV beside him, and he's just talking to her, and it's like just the most mundane shit she was talking.
Just nothing.
It was nothing. I don't know if she was promoting anything. She was just there, like she was talking about something about how she was in some...
Doesn't really have even a fun story.
No fun stories. It was something about how she was like in some architectural digest and there was like a bowl of limes in the photo. And then she's like, who has a bowl of limes? And he goes, and turns out everybody says you actually don't like limes.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm actually allergic to limes. And he's like, and this caused a whole stink because there were people writing articles about how you...
I mean, Bill Burr could make that funny on a late night show.
Of
but it's like,
course,
you know, she would probably don't have the
she's
chops
like-
to make her little lime anecdote hilarious.
No, and she's just like super like, I'm above this, like I'm being forced to do this, and I'm just...
I guess we could talk about this lime business.
But I'm watching this, and I'm like, who the fuck is watching this not ironically?
Yeah, her publicist is like, we need a story for you to talk about if you're going to go to press. And she goes, I don't know, yesterday.
Oh, no,
I had,
sorry,
like,
it wasn't Jimmy Fallon. It was Colbert.
Yeah,
Or maybe it was Fallon.
and then Colbert's people, they go, she wants to do the lime thing, and then Colbert's got to be like, so you mentioned you had a lime later earlier?
Yeah. Well, that's how it used to be, right? And then, but it's crazy. There's still...
What was the guy? Who's the guy's name? Comics Unleashed or whatever?
Oh, Byron Allen.
What's his
Oh my God, Comics Unleashed. So tell me, why do you hate goldfish? You go, let me tell you about goldfish.
So he has these comics on, and he sets them up for the bit, but the setups are so incredible. So he has
No segues. They're not
So he
linked
has
at all.
someone on, and someone has someone has a story about like they're getting computers smashed on the subway, and he shows up and he goes, computers are getting smashed on the subway lately, huh?
They go, yeah. So and then they just do a bit from the chair, which is, I don't even want to shit on
Wild.
Byron Allen because someone told me his story, which is like, he's got this amazing story where he was like a comic, and then I can't remember who told me this, comic in Canada, but he like couldn't get anything going, and he would just go to like all these... He produced this show himself and then went all these networks, and it's like one of the most syndicated shows, and he just like did it all himself, and he built this like he apparently is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, like kind of Tyler Perry style.
Yeah, that's
And he just
cool.
did this thing. But yeah, the show is insane because 4 comics, and then you tell your story about getting your computer smashed, and he goes, oh, crazy. So you hate oranges, huh? and then he just turns to them, and you just gotta like, it puts you on the spot and be like, do your bit about oranges.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's
Like,
so
it
funny.
would, it would be us. He'd be like, so what? I heard you hate the WNBA, Danny. You go, yeah. Let me tell you about the WNBA. And
That's
it's like,
exactly
and then
what
you
it
do your
is.
bit seated.
Well, that's the thing about these celebrities too, and another reason why these shows are like not fun to watch is because first and foremost, for years, no one knew anything about these celebrities. So it's kind of like you see this person in all these movies, and then you go, he's never done an interview and this, and it's like this person talks to him for 5 minutes, and people like my mom are like, oh, that's very cool to see what his personality is. Now they're online, you can watch them fucking, you know how many shits they took today?
Yeah.
It's not that, and they do these real... You're so, way too much about them. So like now you go see them kind of do a fake conversation about limes, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you post everything you do online.
For sure.
There's no mystery anymore that like this is cutting for me.
And who's watching like fucking Colbert or Fallon, and then you find out for the first time ever about some new movie, and then be like, I'm gonna go see that movie.
Yeah, probably
Because
not
of-
that much.
It's
The ratings
crazy.
aren't even very high.
No, the ratings are worse than fucking Gutfeld.
Getting demoed by Gutfield. So the second part of this Bitcoin thing is this woman who goes, because we had this question on the Patreon like a while ago, and me and Danny were sort of arguing about it. And this woman, she posted, she goes, and a lot of people wrote about this. She's getting divorced, and she goes, has my husband got hidden Bitcoins?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, buddy. So, and that is
You're
the
not
que-
getting them.
And everyone sort of has that question. It's like, can I fucking put my, well, if you're getting divorced, can you just have like a bunch of gold hidden somewhere? Can you have a fucking bunch of money buried somewhere? Can you have Bitcoin buried somewhere? And the answer is probably yes, but it's illegal. Just like anything else.
Illegal. You can bury money, but on TikTok has all these just like weird genres of TikTok, and sometimes like so one of them, I don't know how I got it shown to me, was like it was a divorce lawyer or whatever, and he was saying, because he's like, people are like, yeah, can I just transfer my money to my mom? Transfer all my, he's like, no, fuck no, you can't, like, after you're divorced.
Yeah, that's obvious.
He's like, but
he thought he cracked the system.
But a lot of people go, yeah, I'm just gonna put all my shit in my mom's name.
Well, no, you have to do that way before, but you can do that before.
But maybe before
oldest trick in the book: buy your mom a house,
and then before you get in the relationship. But like, it's like
no,
once you're in it, I don't know.
No, I don't really.
You don't think that's that, what like, he was saying.
You could, as a couple, buy stuff? I guess it would.
Well, no. If you, as a couple, buy your mom a house, then you guys both own that house.
No, she owns that house.
Well, then you did. Well, then you gifted her a house.
That's correct. That's the whole. Yes.
Yeah. But
yeah.
No. But we're talking about the guy trying to hide money. He's not telling her we're buying my mom a house. We're buying my mom a house.
No.
She would never try and get that money back. She's
exactly why people do it. The rappers, they go, bought my mom a house, brought my brother a house, get divorced with the chicks, and then you go to your brother and you're like, okay, but like
divorced, they're never getting married.
You go low-key, like, it is kind of my house though, Mom. Like, obviously it's your house now, but like, if I decide that I want to live there, like, you know what really
hit the bricks, bitch.
If I decide to run this out. But they said...
No, but with the Bitcoin is the easiest because, and it's what I said when we had the conversation last time, is you can just straight up be like, yeah, my account got hacked, they're gone.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too.
And then you put them on a fucking cold storage.
So it looks like it is hard to find them.
Yeah.
And she's out there. But it is interesting. What the girls do is they hire these like secret investigators and stuff like that. And so this person's giving girls advice like, hey, what you need to do is if you're going to break up with your husband, you need to start hiring these investigators and lawyers like beforehand, start poking around. Because this girl goes, her basic story is that she goes, my husband told me that he was talking to his friends about how much he made in crypto. And then I asked about him later and he was kind of like, what are you talking about?
Crypto? Crypto what now?
Not ringing a bell. And that is true for a guy to just be like, yeah, I mean, when I said I made a lot of money in crypto, it was $100.
Yeah, exactly. I just made a couple bucks.
They said the hardest part for attorneys is to first determine whether there was an investment. And then once you have that suspicion, so you kind of need to have a suspicion. And then while some spouses in divorce know about the cryptocurrency, others may suspect hidden funds based on the spouse's lifestyle changes, which is, if you are out here trying to pull these moves, one thing you should know is that everyone seems to get busted. And this is not just hiding Bitcoin. This is thieves. This is everyone. Remember that basketball documentary we watched?
Yeah.
So these fucking morons.
I mean, literally Goodfellas.
It's everything.
He goes, so what did I tell you? He goes, return this shit. He's like, he gets the fucking new car, the Cadillac. He goes, you got a Cadillac? He goes, get the fuck. And the guy comes in with the fur coat. And he goes, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Dude, this is what the guys do. It's like they can't, when we were talking earlier, girls are stupid. Guys are so fucking bad at getting away with crimes. And 90% on every cop show, they get caught because they confess, which is convenient. But in real life, they always get booked because they're out there fucking texting about it. They're wearing the clothes. People literally rob banks and then buy a Corvette the next day. It's nuts.
The thing is like, there are people who are getting away with it, and the reason they're getting away with it is because you have no idea, because they're not doing any of the shit.
I know. You know what? I'll say that's one thing that probably Jews are pretty good at is keeping a low profile.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Some of them. I have some friends who are not low profile at all. They don't have money from illegal stuff.
But they're not criminals, maybe.
They're not criminals, but they're not fucking... I have some friends who are very not low profile.
It's a bad move, and it's how everyone gets caught. They can't help themselves. They're flossing at the club, because I guess to some degree you go, what's the point of having all this money? And you go, you moron, wait 3 years. Or wait 3 years, move to another country, then do it.
I mean, some people
go off the grid. We all look the same. Blend in.
Some people are just wired like that. Like JJ's like that. Our boy JJ.
Moron.
JJ's like, you give JJ's like, here's $500,000. He'll blow it as fast as...
Be gone before you can blink an eye.
Yeah, he'll be like, this is life-changing money, and then just gone.
Yeah. So... the forensic experts may scour electronic stored information for digital currency ticker symbols or search devices for login credentials. So there isn't a great science for this. You essentially need to hire someone and they kind of poke around. So you kind of are a bit safe.
I'm telling you, if you put Bitcoin in cold storage and you remember your fucking seed phrase, your private keys,
And
That's
then,
it.
but would you not just say that? But at that point, if you had it in
gone.
cold storage, then they could prove that you bought it and you have it there, though. That's the thing.
But again, you just be like, yeah, I bought Bitcoin. My
don't know where
account
it
got
is.
hacked, which is there's.
But would you not need to prove that?
I mean, I'd be like, try and log into my account. I don't know. I can't get in.
I don't know the password.
I mean,
don't
if
know.
you can get in, you could prove that it's, I guess, but I can't get in. So, and then they'll be like, what's your password? And be like, I don't know.
That's pretty good, by the way. You're good at this. You can see Danny's he's set up, dude. I'll tell you, this podcast.
I'm telling you,
this
I
podcast-
don't know.
We're on record right now talking about this, which is bad, but that's the thing. We're putting ourselves on the line so you don't have to.
Doesn't matter. I don't own any cryptocurrency.
Daniel Polishek, Exhibit A, you winking. Danny goes,
Dude, I would love it if this is used against me at some point. You go, literally, I go, wink.
and then you go, well, Exhibit B, here's me wiping my eyes always because I'm always crying because of inflation.
I mean, all those tears were not for nothing, apparently, with all this inflation that's going on.
Exactly, right? So, and then they said they may check for confirmation emails from exchanges, transfer activity, a bank statement. So you don't want to delete all that stuff. Yeah. There may even be records of cryptocurrency income on past tax records. So that'll get you if you claim the income. But if you never sell it, then you never claim the income.
Cryptocurrencies, people are not claiming fuck all. There's not a single exchange that shares with any info with the IRS yet. So it's like, again, it could be
money.
The honor system. But again, you just put it in cold storage, and then it gets to the point where you go, okay, we'll prove that I didn't lose it.
Yeah, it is it's double negative.
Yeah.
The spouse may have listed cryptocurrency on past loan applications to boost their chances of approval. So it's all these weird things. And they said, for example, there's a list of cryptocurrencies that are the most anonymous, like Monero, Dash. So you want to maybe get some more anonymous ones if you're trying to do some wacky shit like this. Mm-hmm. But we sort of had a thing. It seems like we sort of were in between, and it seems like it is illegal, obviously, but you can sort of get away with it.
Yeah, the cryptocurrency
crypto's
sure.
the gift that keeps giving, it seems like.
If you try and pull out...
If it's on Coinbase, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah. If you try and pull... Or like your Robinhood. But if you try and like pull out cash and then play stupid and be like, you just empty your bank account and be like, I got robbed, that will not work. 100%. Like if there's just... You try and play stupid, they're going to be like, no.
And we're going to take a quick second here to tell you, players, about ExpressVPN. If you don't have a VPN right now, you're crazy. It doesn't matter what you think, who you voted for, any of that stuff. You want to have the right to express your words and thoughts online freely without people taking them, using them against you. So ever wonder how free to access tech companies are making all their money? Well, they're tracking your searches, video history, everything you click on, and building a profile on you, then selling off your sensitive data. When you use ExpressVPN on your computer or phone, you anonymize much of your online presence by hiding your IP address that makes it more difficult to trace your activity and sell it to advertisers. What's more, ExpressVPN encrypts 100% of your network data to protect you from eavesdroppers and cyber criminals. So heaven forbids those chats get released. Heaven forbid your message boards get released. Oof. We know what you guys have been up to. Oof. F in the chat if you agree. Your burner accounts. And what I like about it is it just takes one click to protect all your devices. That's why ExpressVPN is rated #1 by Business Insider. Why not revoke the ability of these big companies to take your data? Secure the internet with VPN I trust, Danny trusts for online protection. Visit expressvpn.com/boyscast. That's expressvpn.com/boyscast to get 3 extra months free with my exclusive link. Go to expressvpn.com/boyscast right now to learn more. Okay, well, the witch forum's been heating up a bit.
Which old witch?
Which we don't get in trouble that the witches are going to cast spells on us. We just both come in, we're balding.
I'm not worried about witches' spells because my girlfriend has a bunch of crystals that
true.
defeats the witches. So
I love the idea that when we come in next episode, we're both like older and balding. These witches casted like a spell on us.
Yeah, I'm aging 1 year per week.
Yeah. It's all weird stuff's happening because the witches fucking got wind of us. But the witches, the witches are fucking having a really good time over there. But
Can we burn them yet? Can we burn them again?
Yeah, the good old days. Well, she goes, Because I've been talking about that on stage, but the good old days where a girl goes, let me tell you about these crystals. You go, you can tell the judge. But they go, so basically there's two good witch things. The first one, she basically says, this girl's having some problems because she's sort of like a woke witch.
Yeah.
Aren't
they all? There's based witches?
Some of them are both. There's lots of different types of witches. Sometimes old school.
Like
some
what?
school,
Like
new
are there
school.
witches who they're like, I'm going to cast a spell and get rid of all the
Oppression.
minorities in this community. This spell makes it only white.
Yeah, there must be some racist witches.
Like some
yeah.
racist.
They probably own Bitcoin too.
Yeah.
She goes, I'd like to cast spells to bring me and my partner more wealth, money, and make life easier for us. But also to hopefully
The partner's like working at a fucking mine and he's like, yeah, you know what also would be good if you just got a job instead of constantly casting spells for us to get more money. He's like, you could take that time and maybe like start an Etsy store or something instead of fucking just casting spells all day that don't work.
What do you do to contribute in this household? Oh, what are you kidding me?
Oh my God. He's like, has like a really hard job at like a factory. And she's
That's
just
so funny.
She goes, he goes, how'd the spells go today? He goes, nothing. I don't know. Nothing. He's back to the drawing board tomorrow.
Holy shit. And then even better is she's not even got to the spells. She goes, how is your spells for today for wealth? And she goes, I was thinking about it. I don't even know if I morally should be casting these spells to make us money. And he goes, oh, good. Yeah. Get another job. He goes, but I might still.
Yeah. He comes home and goes, honey, did you spend $1,400 on a new cauldron? I got the alert from the bank.
We can't afford not to.
Because we don't have that kind of money.
We will.
He goes, we will. She's like, you got to spend money to make money.
Oh, fuck. That would be that'd be the worst. She goes, I like to cast a spell, but she's not sure that she wants to use her spells properly. So she's like a reluctant witch. And the problem is, she says, every time I try to cast, I start thinking about the extractive, abusive nature of money and wealth, not only in my country, USA, but all over the globe. How money's led to some of the society's worst pathologies and capitalism and destroying the planet. How capitalism is a history of slavery and labor abuse, all tied to capitalism in brackets. And they have been particularly bad for women, black people, indigenous people, and other people of color. So buzzword salad from the witch.
Oh, big time.
Told you it was a woke witch.
Woke witch.
And she goes, and by the way, I'm sure that every decision she makes is hindered by this. She's like, you know what? Let's cast like a nice weather spell. And she goes, it's going to benefit white people more.
Yeah.
Weather's been used for oppression. And you know what? I'm going to cast a spell that, football doesn't happen on Sundays anymore. Black people like football, so I can't do that. It's every decision she makes,
Why
right?
don't she just do like a world peace spell?
Well, she probably thinks like, I'm going to cast a spell that's going to make me lose weight. And she goes, but what about other fat people? That'll make them worse.
Yeah,
She can't do anything, right? She's very hindered by this.
Yeah, she's kind of like decision paralysis.
Yeah, and her husband's got to go to work in the mines. Her husband's her husband's the other thing. He's a sorcerer. He's in the other thing. She goes, yeah, no money. She goes, neither did I, man. I've been doing everything I can, buddy. So we're both doing our part here. I did my sorcerer stuff. They sort of use, it also is like that oldest trick in the book where they sort of use, oppression as like an excuse for inaction. Where it's like, you know what I mean? Like I would love to start a business, but then I'm just another oppressor. So anyways, I just have to work this crappy job
like
and keep taking money from my dad, right?
Literally everything that goes wrong in you, it's the patriarchy.
Excuse for not doing anything. She goes, when I think of all these things, I feel so guilty for wanting more money that I don't cast the spell. So, can you imagine walking in on her? She's got the like the rocks in her hand, and I can't do it.
I can't.
I can't do it. I'm getting too old.
Because we need this. Because I can't do it.
I can't. You want to make me use my powers for bad? Does anyone else struggle with this? If so, what's your approach? So she's out here, asking for advice. It is that sort of thing where they said that, like, if you really do believe that it's like the communism thing where it's sort of like that labor theory of value, I guess, is that all like money comes from oppression of someone else or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it so doesn't make sense because I've never been able to be explained properly where it's like, okay, what if I do a show, I don't have any employees, so I decide I'm going to go stand in a forest and perform comedy, right? I'm not even using anything that's attached to anyone else. I perform comedy. Anyone who wants to show up can use $5. Who did I exploit? I don't get it.
I mean, my first thing would
obviously
be like,
someone
must be nice to have a forest, Ryan.
Yeah. But I guess you could say that there are some.
That's not even the point.
Isn't that kind of it? Like any money is made at any people's expense? Like,
well, no, it's like, imagine you say, I'm like, hey, I saved up all my money. I saved up, I've worked at
or if you have employees,
I've worked as a cashier. Yeah, it's the moment you have employees and you go, hey, like, you saved up all this money and then you bought a fucking comedy club. And then, so now you own this comedy club, which can be like an asset.
Yeah, but even on top of that, they go, okay, so this
generate
person's
money.
making, doing this comedy
They
club.
don't factor in that there's
They're working
risk being taken.
Yeah, obviously for sure there's that, but then there's also, I mean, yeah, you're right. We're going into like 101 of like.
It's like seize the means of production. You're like, well, where did the means of production come from?
And also if you join my thing and I give you more money than you were making at your own thing. I mean, the same reason why if I left this to go work at like a network, they'd have to, pay a lot more because, what I mean?
For sure.
And you would, and then I would, whatever.
And that's why we'll be fucking ordering at McDonald's from kiosks for the rest of our lives.
And then the second thing the witches sort of had a problem with.
What don't the witches have a problem
The
with?
witches are having problems.
What's
man.
working for the witches?
That's the thing. Old school witches probably go to these witches and be like, dude, we casted spells to make, men come and marry us and give us all the things. Probably old school witches was like making my husband like propose to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me
Like
a
people-
kid. I want a bunch of kids. And he doesn't want to make him stop fucking all those escorts. New witch says, I need some parenting advice from the coven. This one's got a good one. My 4-year-old's getting exposed to princesses and high femme through her 2 best friends at preschool. I'm a tomboy who's struggled with what felt like the femme prison that the gender police would try to force on me. I don't want to gender police my child, and I don't want to wall off high femininity the way that masculinity or gender neutrality were walled off for me. So basically, his daughter's like playing with dolls and stuff like that.
Basically, like, I like
she's
Barbies,
a reverse,
and she's like, oh my God.
She's a reverse Red Foreman from that 70s show. It's pretty funny where it actually did get there, because that's the joke we would always sort of say, where it's like someone comes home and their son's like not gay and they're like, oh, he played football, like we have him.
Yeah.
My son's the starter, the quarterback, like I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, that's why you have 2 sons, right?
I mean, literally, this is the type of person who would like disown their kid for not being gay.
That's kind of what it is. But she's the non-gender police.
Yeah. Remember that woman in Toronto in the thing where she was making her kid pee sitting down?
Yeah. It's kind of that. Yeah.
Like she's like forcing, and she's like, he doesn't want to pee sitting down, and it's like upsetting her.
She goes, I was able to accept with a fair amount of grace that when my daughter began insisting on wearing only dresses a few months ago, but yesterday her daughter insisted that she wanted to wear dresses, and this is you had to have a house meeting sort of situation. But yesterday we went to a princess themed birthday party, which must have been hell for this person. Also sort of funny. It's like when you're 50 and you kind of have a kid again, it's like, your problems are not on the table anymore. Like you're kind of like, this femininity's giving me PTSD from when I was, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, this isn't about you anymore. This kid wants to have a party.
Yeah. Also, again, so much of these people is like just denying reality in the sense that, like, yes, if you just take a group of girls who are 6 years old, there'll be like 2 of them who are just like, whatever.
Baseball.
And most of them are going to be into princesses because it's just how it is.
Yeah.
You can steer them away from that. You'd be like, we love fucking football.
No, we're a rugby family.
We're a rugby. We love, here's a tractor to play with.
Which you can, and then some of them will work
and some
on.
of them will, but the majority of them, like, dude, my niece, like, they were trying to avoid.
Whenever you push them on it, a lot of times it pushes them the other way.
No, but they were like, look, we're not going to push the girly stuff on her too much. Like, we'll just let her decide.
She liked the girly stuff.
And her decision was like dressing like a unicorn in tutus and stuff. And she loves purses and she's like 6. It's like, I don't know. It's just.
And this girl, she says she was asking to get more princess stories and books. And today she is sitting in the pink tiara she took home from the party. And I'm really struggling. Just goes and kicks the kid in the head. So she basically says, also, if you're like,
cast a spell.
So that's the thing. If the witch, first of all, cast a spell that she's more like a man. And she says, I don't want to teach her that women should have physiologically impossible bodies. I don't want to teach her the purpose of her life exists for men and romance. I don't want to teach her that trade her voice for love, Little Mermaid, or that you can fix your abuser, Beauty and the Beast. She says, or other stuff. So she says, Beauty and the Beast is a tale about how a woman can fix her abuser. That's how she sees it. Anyways, the witches are up to some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
I think so. She goes, she wants some, the coven to sort of like help her get through this tough time. What I was thinking is that maybe you put a daughter in a box. Danny has a joke about this. You let her only play with a gray ball.
Yeah.
Put her in a chain and say that, listen, you're allowed to come up when you don't like princesses anymore.
No, when you like nothing anymore.
When you like nothing anymore.
It's just like this dystopian. It's like that Apple commercial from the 80s or whatever. It's just like everybody has a shaved head and we're all wearing just gray suits.
You come up when you don't like anything anymore.
Just very brutal.
But before we go, there was a piece of good news. So this is all the normal.
The crystals
news.
are working?
The crystals are working. But Pope Francis.
Yeah.
And he came out and he said, Pope Francis says sins of the flesh aren't that serious.
Accidentally for boys.
Because, he is sort of the progressive Pope, right?
Although I guess that applies to everybody, but more so that's for the guys.
It's for the boys.
He ain't saying that for ladies.
Oh, yeah, it's
Don't
a thing. Your
worry.
girl's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you go, this is what the Pope said, baby. And this Pope, as soon as he did say, I was a little suspicious, you go, what's the Pope up to now, right? Why is he saying this? And it turns out that one of the Pope's boys got fucking busted. So
Pope's literally changing the
He is
whole
sort of a woke
rules
Pope.
for one of his boys. It's like, dude, you're like the friends with the president. You get like fucking arrested for murder. And he goes, don't worry. Just made murder legal.
Yeah, the Pope
You're
said.
good.
It also is funny, like a bad look for the Pope because obviously the history of the Catholic Church and him coming out and being like, yeah, I mean, like, it's not that big of a deal. And you're like, I mean, you guys might be not it's like Bill Cosby coming out and saying that. It's like you guys have a bad history of the Catholic Church. It's like Pope also says some of those kids were asking for it.
It's funny to watch them kind of navigate in real time.
I know.
And also like in such a short window where not that long ago, things were like, yeah, these are the rules that were written by God thousands of years ago. Like, these are the rules. What are we going to change them?
That's the thing. I don't know why they're always trying to appeal to sort of like this
because
new
their
person.
numbers are doing so badly. It's
Yeah,
like,
but they're appealing to the wrong people. Like, you're not going to convince a bunch of fucking college kids that are trying to get people in trouble that like the church to join the church.
No, it's not even to join. Their ratings are. It's like a ratings.
Their
thing.
ratings.
It is. It's like they're just doing their membership numbers are so low. They go.
Who are they trying to convince to come?
All the gay people they kicked out, being like,
those people aren't going back to the church.
They might be if they'll get.
See, you're the same. You got the same derangement syndrome as this guy, where you think that maybe if we're more progressive, people will be religious.
I'm not necessarily.
You're going to lose more people.
I'm not necessarily. Yeah, maybe. And again,
if you start going like, hey, it's like, and then they go, okay, well, what do I even need you for then?
You don't. But
Also,
I'm just saying this is them flailing, being like, all right, this is their meeting.
It is them flailing.
Being like, what do we need to do to get these numbers up? And they go, okay, well.
It's an old guy trying to navigate. He's doing the same thing Joe Biden's doing, where he's like, actually, women should have my job. I want to be the last male president.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm the last male pope.
He goes, there are worse indiscretions for sex outside marriage. The leader of the Catholic Church told reporters at the Papal plane while en route from Greece to Italy on Monday. It does feel like he got paid off, though, right? When you come out and you go,
paid off. They got tons of
The
fun.
Pope comes out and he says, listen, I have something very important to say. If you smash your secretary once or twice, that is not that big of a deal.
He goes, if you put your Pope hat on this chick and then fuck her from behind wearing the Pope hat, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's yeah. And I just want to say, as the Pope, if it was in a different area code...
Those rules only apply in the Vatican City. Once you get out in the greater Rome area, it's fucking free for all.
Also, there was another thing. The priest came out recently, and some people were calling people snowflakes, and the Pope said he didn't like the word snowflake because it offends people. The Pope didn't like being called the snowflake.
Bit of a snowflake move, Pope. But you don't like that, you fucking snowflake.
How funny is that?
I remember in Italy, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they did that where they go like they're like, yeah, we're just gonna say it's okay to be gay.
Yeah, Pope's been out there.
That was the gay one was weird because there's so few
reasonable,
people
though.
to really 100%, but there's so few people to gain, but then there's so many people who are like, what?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It is obviously the move.
The net. You go, I don't know if this is.
Maybe there's I'll let me backtrack and say there are maybe a lot of normal people that are religious that like don't have a problem with gay people. And one of the things that making their life hard is everyone's like, yo, you're homophobic.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
no, but then the church is like, hey, we're actually not homophobic. And then they can go to their work and see,
I'm just a Catholic. And they go, okay.
So it is possible that this was to make the lives easier of like normal Catholic people that don't want everyone calling them homophobic all day.
And child diddlers. And
whatever, yeah.
like.
So he says, the sins of the flesh are not that much serious, says the 84-year-old religious leader. The 84-year-old coming out there and being like, yo, fucking getting your dick wet's not that bad, dude. He says it's not. He says the top transgressions include pride, hate, and hatred, according to Reuters.
I love how way worse. You know what's way worse than cheating on your wife? Pride.
I wasn't proud of it.
Yeah. I wasn't proud of it. Just pride in general.
How funny is that? So the Pope comes up and he goes, if you cheat on your wife, it's bad, but what would really be bad is if you were proud of it.
Or just pride in general. I don't even think it's pride of that.
I know. Yeah, just pride in general.
It's like some guy comes up and he goes, honey, I've listened to the Pope and we got to change some stuff. So for one, we're not proud of our children anymore. Two, I'm going to go cheat on you now.
Yeah. Actually, pride was really bad.
Pride's what's really keeping us out of heaven.
Well, he says, Francis... his rankings of the worst wrongdoings, followed by, he actually gave a list and he goes, see, here's my list, and fucking cheating's barely on it. Because it followed the resignation of a Paris archbishop who quit over a relationship with a woman earlier this month. Also, by the way, if this guy sort of was getting all this heat from like having sort of a relationship with a woman and they were sort of encouraging, like, listen, you got to resign, you'd think the guy would be like, really, Pope? Of all the people that you assigned different places for?
He goes, I'm getting fucking shit canned. Do you know what I know?
Yeah, exactly. He goes, however, the 70-year-old French cleric, Michael Apapetit, denied being intimate with the anonymous female. So he says he wasn't actually intimate. He goes, and his behavior that would break from his promise of celibacy. So the guy sort of said she just sucked me off.
He doesn't do anything.
He goes, no, she just gave me a head, Sort of a reverse dude line about it's like a reverse high school line. Yeah, I didn't fuck her. No, I didn't actually smash.
Yeah, I didn't actually. The best too is like Pope was like, look, man, if you were gay, this would be totally fine. But
yeah,
just the times are crazy, so we're gonna have to let you go.
He said it was a failing against the sixth commandment, but not a total one, of the small caresses, massage giving to his secretary. So he said he was just giving her a bit of a massage.
You can't give a massage. That's enough for you to get.
Says that's what the accusation is. The church is sort of pretending they're going to bring the hammer down on him, but it is funny being like, see, look, we're bringing the hammer down on people that have sexual offenses. And then that is funny too, where this guy's like, guy resigned for giving his life, giving a woman massage. How many priests are like, in the Hawaii chapter being like, you know what? Let's cancel the youth group today.
Yeah, actually, let's double the youth group.
Woo, 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 cheap shots. Nothing like an old Catholic church. You're in the scope today, Catholic church. No one's safe.
That was the best when it got so out of hand with them that calling them pedophiles became like hacky.
It was a hack.
Like the hackiest thing where you go like, oh, and they're like people, Catholics, are go,
we're better. And everyone's like, yeah, but it is true though.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's so egregious and it was so bad, but it was like getting just harped on by so many people.
Yeah,
that the Catholics response.
Well, apparently, a million religions and in groups in general have that problem, but it's like,
yeah, of course,
in law of large numbers, and you're not allowed to have sex. But I think the issue is all the covering up.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, if you don't think there's fucking other religions who are getting into the kid diddling.
Yeah. But moving on, I got to say, this is the Boyscast. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Boyscast, Patreon, patreon.com/the Boyscast. New bonus episode every week.
For the high-value males.
For only high-value males. If you're a high-value
you can be one. It's $5 a month, and you literally are a high-value
Literally, buy this for yourself for Christmas. That is the recommendation that we have. Ryan Long at Ryan Long Comedy, Danny Polishuk at Danny Jokes. You know what it is. Peace.